rates and read people.
There you go.
Is there some system?
You're okay.
There's nothing out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's meeting of the Planning Environment Committee of Handforth Town Council. A particular welcome to Councillor Harrison, who's returned to the fold only briefly. First item on the agenda is to receive apologies for absence. Have we received any apologies, or
No.
do we have a full house?
Full house.
We've got a full house, so no. Second item on the agenda is to receive notes of declarations of interests and requests for dispensation to discuss and vote on a matter in which a member or co-opted member has a disclosable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. Are there any such?
No.
None, Chair.
None. Open forum. Does the single member of the public want to make any comments or concerning items on the agenda? Agenda item 4, to approve and sign the minutes of the Planning and Environment Committee meeting of the 9th of December 2025.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, myself out.
Yeah, should be Christmas.
I've read the minutes through. I have no comment to make on them.
Neither do I.
Do we have any comment? No. So, can we have a seconder for acceptance of the minutes, and all those in favour? With one abstention who was not present at the original meeting. Okay. Agenda item 5, to consider planning application 25-448, householder, demolition of existing garage and store, together with the erection of proposed 2-storey side and rear extension, 19 Broughton Road, Handforth. Does anybody wish to pass comment on that application? Any committee member?
I don't have any concerns about it.
No, I don't. I have a look at it. It's within the boundaries and covers all the criteria as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. This is a detached house on the eastern side of Broughton Road. The proposed extensions should not impair the amenities enjoyed by neighbours at number 17 or 21, and no comments from neighbours have been recorded. My recommendation is that we say that the Town Council have no objection to the application.
This is what the Burkill says.
It's
I'm
about 6 up
not
from,
sure. I'm
It
not
is.
sure about
that's 6 up from David. It's actually turned to red.
Yeah.
It's just there on the
Yeah.
right hand
So
side.
there's a skip outside of his house.
Yeah.
What was his house?
Oh, right.
It could be. It would take.
No, the skip, Peter, the skip's on the other side of the road. For one we agreed last meeting.
All right, right.
Yeah.
So that was probably Burkill's.
Right.
Sorry,
That's probably Burkill's old house is certainly having something done to it.
this is Burkle's house.
This one is.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So I'll propose then that the Town Council have no objection to this application.
I'll second it.
All those in favour? Thank you. Agenda item 6, to consider planning application 25-4630 VOC, which stands for variation of conditions. And I'm not going to read all this out in detail. Variation of the wording of conditions for the part of the Garden Village site, which has currently full planning permission, all those various segments there, and also variation of conditions on those parts of the Garden Village site which have only outline planning permission. This is all part of hybrid application 190623M, which represents land east of the A34 and south of the A555 in Handford. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will not regard this as an attempt on my part to remove the democratic process from the work of this committee, but I have prepared, in view of the complexity of this application, a bit of text which I hope you might approve or amend as you think fit to send off to the Cheshire East Council. Do you wish me to read it out or?
Oh,
think
here.
you-
No,
you've
we've
got
got it
to-
here, haven't we?
Should I read it out as a formal
Should we read
act?
it?
It's up to you, up to you.
Then, well, plenty of time, haven't we? I will read it out, and we can interject as they think fit. According to the planning statement associated with this application, approval is sought to vary the wording of specific planning conditions attached to the existing hybrid planning permission LPA Ref 190623M in order to facilitate a start on the site. Bear in mind that as far as the full planning permission part of the application is concerned, that full planning permission expires or would expire in September of this year. And so Cheshire East are here taking action to make sure that they make a start on that work so that the full planning permission is retained. Importantly, no new development proposals or alterations to approved drawings are being introduced as part of this application. A new phasing plan has been prepared that relates to the initial primary infrastructure works. Phase 1A North includes plans to improve pedestrian footways associated with the Dumbbell Roundabout. The Dumbbell Roundabout is that roundabout at the northern end of the Handforth Dean complex, and it incorporates an underpass for the A34. Obviously, Cheshire East want to have a decent footwalk under the A34 at that point to facilitate the future passage of pedestrians from the Handforth Dean site into the Garden Village. I would suggest that the Town Council welcome such plans. So I'll propose that that statement is made. But anybody like to second that?
I'll go with that, yeah.
All those in favour of that element? Thank you. Then phase 1A South includes plans to resurface footpath 127, which is now to be known as footpath 22. This is the concrete track represented by footpath 127 and was formerly one of the entrances to the wartime RAF base 61MU. It's therefore of historic interest to the residents of Handforth. The ancient hedgerows on either side of this footpath comprise important habitats for wildlife and are protected as landscape and biodiversity areas under the Handforth Neighbourhood Plan, page 102, map 10. Clearly, during any resurfacing of this footpath, great care must be taken to protect the root systems and foliage of these hedgerows. The lower diagram on page 5 of the planning statement associated with the application suggests that the planned resurfacing of footpath 127 will stop short of reaching the metal surface of Hall Road. The Town Council believe that this may be because the intervening parcel of land is owned by Jones Homes. The Town Council hope that Cheshire East and Jones Homes will come to an agreement such that the resurfacing of footpath 127 does not exclude the land parcel currently owned by Jones Homes. Can I propose that we make that suggestion? Is someone prepared to second
Is that the bit from the road ending to
Yes.
the coast?
Yeah.
That was dug up by Jones House, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yes, that was
Massive sewage pipes.
I'm sorry, I'm not
James.
sure which bit you're talking about here.
You go up to the end of the tarmac a part of Hall Road,
Yeah.
and you're intending
Where
to,
Wadsworth is,
yeah,
on your
and
right,
you're
Yeah,
intending to go forward or eastward
yeah,
to get onto the concrete track.
yeah, you talk
There's
about
a
that
gra-
bit to the gate.
Yes.
Yes, there's a gravelly bit before you get to the concrete track. That's owned by Jones Homes,
Right.
not by Cheshire East.
Ah, I see.
So when you
How
look
come
at,
Jones Homes then, for part of a former footpath?
well, that's a good question.
Isn't it?
I don't know what the answer to that is, but nevertheless they do.
But it has been left by Jones in a very bad state.
Yes,
That bit.
it has.
This is an observation. Jones have repaired the east end of the concrete path very successfully, because there are cracks in it. So they've just refilled it. It's perfect. I don't see the need to resurface it really. Just fill the
It
cracks.
seems a shame, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think
to
it's
lose-
historic interest is a good expression. That
Yes.
you're
However,
losing
I
a bit of
have one
history.
further question. When you talk about hedgerows and things, do you remember when the building work was going on around there, Jones was supposed to put in some hedgerow to replace that was damaged? Has that been done?
They have put a lot of hedgerow plants in at the eastern
Yes,
end.
yeah, which is doing
I've
well.
not been up there for a long time.
They pointed out, at the time, Jones Homes pointed out that our protection of the hedgerow on the southern side does not quite come down to where Hall Road starts. And you can see that in the neighbourhood and map, unfortunately. So I think they did remove one or two hedgerow plants there, and I've never replaced them.
There are some gaps as well.
There's a footpath coming in from
Yes.
the estate there now anyway, so, and that they have preserved the big oak tree that's on that corner as well.
Yeah, and on the other end too.
But I think it would be a good idea to ask Cheshire East to come to some kind of agreement with Jones Homes to carry on the resurfacing across that patch owned by Jones Homes.
Yeah.
Mm.
It would be daft to leave that as a different type of surface. It's pretty awful at the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Ankle breakers.
may I propose then that we ask Cheshire East to include that land parcel owned by Jones Homes for the resurfacing work? So I'll propose that. Will
I'll
someone
second
second that?
that. I think that's critical.
All those in favour? Thank you. Experience with footpath 91, which is the footpath running between Hall Road and Coppice Way, and which is shared between cyclists and pedestrians, has shown that mixed cycle and pedestrian traffic is hazardous,
Yes, very.
particularly in that particular case where there's a sharp bend in the path. And it's hazardous, or made more hazardous by the advent of electric bicycles, which actually zoom through that path. So I'd like to say that the Town Council therefore believe that cycle and pedestrian traffic on footpath 127 should be physically separated using a barrier. I'm not sure we'll get that past them, but that's what I would
Even a
propose
white
to say.
line would help.
The Town Council proposed that the northern side of the track be a cycle lane, while the southern side be reserved for pedestrians. I make that distinction because you may recall that there's going to be a spiral slope coming down from the new footbridge. The new footbridge is going to separate cyclists from pedestrians with a barrier, and the cyclists will come off that spiral on the north side of footpath 127. So it makes sense to have cycle traffic on the north side and pedestrian traffic on the south side.
So they're not crossing over.
Yeah, and the same is true when you come down to the western end of the track, because Jones Homes have now built a footpath which blends into the track at the western end, and that blends obviously into the southern edge of the path, so cyclists would be kept clear of that as well. So
You're aware that Jones have put up signs already? So on the east end
yes,
of the path, so you've got the line drawn,
yeah,
the posts, so they're already designated.
right.
I can't think they've got it south, did you say south of Bikes?
No, north for
I think
bikes,
it's done south of
south
bikes.
for pedestrians.
For bridge lines, I think south. It's
And it's
on
my
the floor.
understanding that that's all they will do. They won't paint lines or do anything else these days.
We've got a white line. There's a white line.
They are doing a
There is
white
a white
line.
line.
Oh, that's good.
And there's
Because they've
the
refused
posts.
to do it elsewhere, haven't they?
One of the posts is the wrong way around,
Oh, brilliant.
So
which is a bit confusing.
may I propose that we ask for that physical separation of pedestrian and cycle traffic?
I'll second it.
And all those in favour?
Well, at least a white line, Roger. Again, as long as it's,
Yeah,
that's cheap.
something.
Yes, but are we including the town council strongly support the planned introduction of street lighting? Because I don't.
I think they're going to do it anyway because they're planning to put the ducting in for the cable. But I take your point because, as my younger daughter will say, who's an absolute green, let's say the animals fanatic, lighting is not good for local
No.
wildlife.
Can we
Disturbs
make
them.
that point, please? And my other understanding as well is that there's an awful lot of street lighting now that isn't in use anymore. I mean, if you go along the bypass these days, there's very little street lighting that's actually lit now at night. A lot of it is turned off. So I question it. I honestly question that people will use this at night. Question that they'll use it anyway. I really object to street lighting.
Right. What do other councillors feel in this respect?
I think one low-level light would be handy on the last stretch as you're heading south. They've got a light by their gate. But, once you get over the bend, you can see where you're going. The problem you've got when it's overcast and no moon, it is pitch black.
Yeah.
And the last stretch, the straight stretch going to Hall Road, I think one light there, low level, not bright, is sufficient to give you
The
the vision.
sodium, is it sodium lights? I don't know, do they?
About the one at Jones,
It's-
it's LED obviously, it's
LED.
low level, and it has, once you walk close to it, it goes a bit brighter. It's meant for the gate.
How do you feel about that, Lou?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose some kind of low level lighting would be ideal just for safety purposes. I think it is I'm not really that familiar with the footpath. Does it have like overlooking from houses onto it or?
Yes, if you're heading
Not-
south, you've got a fence on your left. Half a hall is here, and you get a little bit of light from the housing, but not a lot. But just something like they've got the gate that was very low level would be. It can be pitch black. Moon, you're fine. If there's no moon, overcast, it is pitch black.
So shall I suggest then that I'll take out the word strongly, support the planned introduction of street lighting, though this should be of low intensity and at low
I think
level.
one would do it, Roger. You don't need a lot to
Put something
go.
like that, I'd be much happier.
One on that stretch, stretch to Hall Road would do it, really.
If you remember, we used to have bats all along
Yeah,
there.
we did.
Not anymore.
So with that, that now reads the Town Council support the planned introduction of street lighting along the footpath, though this should be of low intensity and at low level.
Yeah.
All those I'll propose that. Seconded. And all those in favour? Thank you. So that,
Can I just say something there, please?
yes.
Thank you very much for doing that, because I looked at that
Oh.
and went,
Yeah, we haven't finished with it yet. I must ask Ashley. Ashley, I know that you've read through all of this application, and will you comment on whether or not we are going to suffer from changes to SIL or S106?
Yeah, normally I wouldn't waste my time on planning applications, but where it does concern such a large quantity of still money comes to the town council and S106 contributions, this in no way amends any of the contributions that they've got to make still-wise or S106-wise.
I have one or two other things to say. Contrary to what it says on my sheet of notes, the Noel House planning application will not be considered at tomorrow's meeting of the Northern Planning Committee, because Cheshire East have decided they need more time to consider ecological aspects of the application. The planning officers the planning officer's report on the application runs to 30 pages. It contains interesting conflicts in that trees are an important issue, both from the fact that here's an existing tree. If you build a building close to it, you'll impair its root system. Here's an existing tree. Here's your building. That tree is going to shade the building to the detriment of the occupants of that building. And both those things are built into the planning officer's report. He accepts that the land is grey belt, but then goes into a tremendous amount of detail about whether you can build on grey belt, and the 3 golden rules, which are all now specified in the National Planning Policy Framework. And I printed that off recently, but I haven't got my mind around it yet. But I think it's worth, I'll try and make a summary of it, because we're going to get a whole lot more applications to build on Greenbelt, particularly around the northern edge of the parish. And I think we need to be prepared for claims and counterclaims in that respect. So,
can I just support that, because our visit to the Northern Planning meeting last time just showed how the councillors on the planning committee amongst themselves didn't have an absolute view. They were all at sea, weren't they, really?
they were, yeah.
So it is extremely complicated, and yeah, I don't know quite how it's going to be dealt with, if I'm honest.
There's no denying that the Knoll House site is grey belt. It's a piece of green belt land which has been previously developed, but then you have to take it a stage further and consider because it's planned to build homes on the site, you have to consider whether that justifies ignoring any green belt considerations. And there are rules, these 3 golden rules, which need to be applied.
Kind of worms, I think they call it, don't you?
Yes. The other point I'd like to make while people of the committee are here is that when it comes to consideration of the application to build on the field which is adjacent to what used to be the Belfry Hotel, I think it's called the Hallmark Hotel now, Stockport Metropolitan Borough Council have thrown a spanner into the works there. They intend to replace the traffic lights at the junction between Stanley Road and Wilslow Road with a roundabout. And that will, of course, influence consideration of that planning application when it comes up. I think that's...
Can I just make one comment on that? It's not the Stockport Council, it's the Moths that are ones who have the plans because the Moths have bought Waddle and Wolsey's.
Stockport Borough Council has sent in a letter to the Cheshire East Planning Department saying that the junction between Wilslow Road and Stanley Road is within the Stockport Highways remit, and they are going to replace the traffic lights with a roundabout, full stop.
Disagree. That junction is half and half. The boundary goes right down the middle of Stanley Road to the main road. At the middle of the junction, it turns right and goes down the middle of the road and then left onto Bolshire, Bolshire.